Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, as part of its drive to strengthen and attract new investments, hosted a roundtable with the private sector in collaboration with Sterling One Foundation, Alitheia, and ETK. It was an opportunity for members of the Lagos Cabinet to showcase opportunities for investments in healthcare, energy, arts, culture and tourism, infrastructure, agriculture, transportation, sustainable development, and technology. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in his remarks, reassured investors that the government is committed to providing an enabling business environment for them to thrive.
Part of the things that Lagos, will certainly be by 2052 is that Lagos will become one of the human capital center of the world. With the population that we see, we'll become, thank you very much, we'll become a provider of skills that will be needed all around the world, be it in Africa, in other parts of the world. And we need to begin to provide, structures, for that to happen. We need to begin to provide policies and programs, for that to happen. And one of the things I will say to you very clearly is that, for example, we're increasing the number of tertiary institutions that we have that are providing for the work of the future. From one that we met, we have 3 now, and we're actually also providing before the end of the year to have another university. We realize that knowledge, skills, information is critical for that future of work, for that global, play that you must be able to play Lagos, a critical role. In the area of real opportunity in the health sector, there are new infrastructures that we're building. You had mentioned the cancer center opportunity. Some of our providers are here, partners that are here in this room. But beyond even that, we're also building the biggest pediatric hospital. We're building another first-class renal health facility, and that will be in Ojo. We're building that will be also the biggest mental health, rehabilitation hospital, also in Lagos. We're building a pediatric children's hospital that will be the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa. It's also because of the population that we see. We're inheriting an hospital that is almost 80 years old. The minimum we can do is to build another facility that will be 10, 15 times that size. And so these are some of the things that we're doing. Our tertiary health facility now, which is LASUT, we pride LASUT as the foremost, the biggest, tertiary health institution that we know on a daily basis. People come from different parts of the country, at 6 o'clock in the morning just to be able to receive healthcare facility at LASUT. And LASUT also, it's been very innovative, in the way in which it combines that also with the private sector. And so we see a lot of opportunity in the health space. Everywhere in the world, that is how you have used private equity. You've used private sector funding to galvanize funding into health. And the kind of numbers that we're seeing, if all of us participate in the health insurance scheme, we'll see growth from as small as 5-10 billion. In the next 10 years, we could see 500 to 1 trillion, growth in our health insurance scheme alone. And that will become, achievable if all of us in this room, if all businesses see that they have a role to play. It's like all of us will not get sick at once. But if we have, a capitation system where all of us continue to provide into a pool that can help both the public health institutions, the private health institutions, people will begin to de-risk, that sector more. And that's why we put forward this health insurance. And I'm believing that, with the communication that will be coming out from the Ministry of Health, all of us will be players, in this industry. Thank you. On tourism, I go around and I realize that, quite frankly, if you have 183 kilometers of no shark-infested, clean, Atlantic coast shoreline, we have not taken full advantage of it yet. Different places that people go to and just to, suntan and to sit and to watch, water just flow in from the beach, and we have not been able to take the full opportunity of ours. 183 kilometers, of clear beach line. If you go to Hafa Beach, that's just starting of it. Go towards the Badagry Beach, you see the serenity and amount of, beauty that we can turn those places into. And that's what the PAMSEC was trying to also explain to us, that there's a lot of investment that we can make in the tourism space. There's a group of investors now that were put together, and we said that we want to put a clear, investment plan on the Lashe corridor. We're hoping that they can actually do what they said to us they're going to do, because we're using them as a test case in which we're giving them about 250 hectares, of beach line investment. And they said it's going to be a site and service. They're going to be putting about $100 million to $150 million investment, into that corridor, where they can build, a world-class tourist destination. So let's think through these 183 kilometers. What part of it do you see opportunity that you want to take up? And talk to us. Let us see your investment plan. Let us see the monies that you can show us that you have, and we'll give you all the access. We'll give you, all the permits, that you require to make those investments and for people to come. In total, this city or this city-state or this tiny little state that all of us crowd in, is a place where we all need to preserve. We all need to nurture. We all need to take care of. Because if we don't take care of it, the consequences of it could be severe on all of us. And that's why I want to leave us here with a sense of call and to urge us that the initiative that Sterling One and all of our other partners will be doing around initiative of philanthropy and getting our big donors, our big funders, our large investors to see that it's not about them today. It's not about what they make today. It's about commitments they make tomorrow and the next tomorrow and next tomorrow. Because that's how developments happen everywhere in the world. How do you want to be remembered 50, 100 years? Because we have the opportunity today to make those investments that will outlive us. So it's really not about us today. It's about the legacies that we leave behind. And that's why I talked about preserving the city that is so important to us, preserving the state that is so important to us today, and ensuring, that by 2090, 2095, it can continue to remain, a livable state, a livable city that all of us, wherever we are, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren will be proud that during our time, we laid the foundation of this thing.
Some of the cabinet members, investors, and dignitaries speak on the investment opportunities and why Lagos remains a destination that cannot be ignored.
Lagos is always struggling to meet up with the other megacities of the world. So for us, what we are doing here today, inviting investors to come and look at opportunities in Lagos, is not new, and we continue to do it. Like you have had, there are opportunities in health, in education, in construction, in technology, and in agriculture, and in power. So all of the things that we are doing today is to tell the world that Lagos is ready for business, that people who come here, we have the fastest return on investment.
There are vast opportunities for investment in Lagos State. And I'm glad that all these opportunities are being highlighted so that investors, both local and foreign investors, can come to Nigeria. They will all benefit.
Lagos State is the economic capital of Nigeria and arguably the economic capital of Africa. It is a huge investment destination from investors across the globe. And there are so many investors in the room today. The room is very full because they know they will get excellent returns on their investment. So the interest is guaranteed.
We want Yaba to continue its innovation process. As such, we are deepening the infrastructure build out. That was the kite at Yaba project. But we are not stopping there. What I didn't mention is we're also looking at other areas to clusterize based on different verticals. So when you look at places like Ikorodu will have the agri-tech cluster. Lekki might have the cloud computing cluster. And so where we enable centers of excellence for those areas. And when you look at the entire ecosystem, we are putting the right kinds of infrastructure to enable the growth in these different sectors. So as you can see, government has actually even acquired the land for this, and is partnering with the private sector. We want all of these clusters to be privately driven, but to be supported by us.
The most critical thing for investing is that you have to be able to forecast what the future would look like. The moment you are no longer able to determine what the immediate future will look like, let alone the distant future, you are not going to invest. And that comes from one, policies, right? You've got to have policy environment where there's predictability, there's clarity. And I think Lagos has done a pretty decent job of providing this policy environment. The other thing that then comes with that is, even if there's policy, will it be consistently applied? Would it be applied to every investor in the same way? Again, very important that you can estimate that the policy affects everyone in the same way. But ultimately, it comes down to there has to be a level of respect between government and the investor community. Because in the absence of respect, the communication that would lead to the building of trust will not exist.
I think as an investor, Alitheia Capital invests not just in Lagos, but in SMEs looking to scale. So when you're presenting your business to us, I think even as a state, whether you're a state or you're a company, the interest is to present your business as is. Show us where you are, where you're going, what investments you require. So that two-way dialogue where we can know exactly what you need to grow further or make the state grow further. That transparency between both sides, not just the state, but also the investor as partnership. So that trust comes with the partnership. So definitely trust, transparency is very key in any investment.
So creating an enabling environment for investment is the number one agenda for Lagos State, I believe, because, if investors don't feel comfortable, not just with the ease of doing business, but also the fact that they're going to get a return on investment, it's very difficult for them to get involved in this state. But we've seen that Lagos has been a very good investment destination over the years. And so there's actually quite a lot of confidence that's building amongst investors for Lagos State in particular.
The Commissioner of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medabem, and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu re-emphasized the point that Lagos is open for business and investments.
We're consistent in Lagos. We're very clear. You also heard Mr. Governor talk about the 30-year strategy, which is also very clear. And he also invited the private sector to work with us. And as you can see, we will continue to ensure that Lagos continues to be the economic, trade, commercial, financial, and gateway to Africa.
For us in Lagos, we've been a bit lucky. We've seen, consistent growth in our leadership profile. And the minimum we can do here is to ensure that we take that growth into a level that is enviable. And so we are completely committed at ensuring that we do not reverse the trajectory of the consistent and continuous growth that we've seen in the state. In the last 5 years, like we've said, we've seen our GDP grown by almost 50%, and so it is to make sure that we can continually, encourage, even in very difficult times, our investors to be able to have the conversations of de-risking, what could be their issues, what could be their concerns, and being able to give them that comfort, and that enabling, environment and assurance that whatever it is that they invest as a government will continue to play our own role and will ensure that, the investments are not only secured, but they can also be guaranteed of some, minimum return that would encourage and ensure that they stay around us.
The Lagos Investors Roundtable is a template that can challenge other subnationals to explore the value of public-private partnerships in attracting sustainable investments. It also demonstrates the power of strategies and plans, especially the 30-year Economic Development Plan, through which it seeks to be the human capital powerhouse in the world, with policies to support a knowledge economy, skills, and talent development.